presentation of Fox Sports.
Twins fans get the chance to watch their team at home for the next week and a half, and it's the first of a 9-game homestand and a 3-game series with the Kansas City Royals. The road trip ended right where it started in terms of the Twins' placement in the standings, a 3.5-game lead over Detroit in the American League Central, and they come home to a ballpark where they played very well. They've won 2 out of 3 ball games so far in their new ballpark. So the hope is that they'll continue to play well and maybe increase their lead in the division, taking on a Kansas City team that was here in April under a different manager, and so far they've responded very well to the new manager, Ned Yost. And welcome you to Target Field. Dick Bramer and Burt Lileman for the opener of this series with the Kansas City Royals, and it starts off with a good pitching matchup. Kevin Slowey's been going very well for the Minnesota Twins, going against tonight the reigning American League Cy Young winner.
Well, Kevin Slowey, he has been pitching very well, like you mentioned, over the last 4 starts. Kevin, 2-0, very good ERA, but the biggest thing for Kevin Slowey, the last couple times out, he has gone into the 7th inning, and that's important because tonight they are facing Zach Greinke. You mentioned last year the American League Cy Young Award winner. So far, it has been not even close because Zach Greinke in his last start struggled against the Angels. Then he settled down, and after that loss, he kind of said, hey, you know what, I've got to man up a little bit here. I have to go at the Twins a little bit differently than I have so far in my first 12 starts. It'll be an interesting outing for Zach Greinke here tonight.
Well, the Twins have led their division all year long, thanks largely to the fact they've got a closer at the end of the game who's leading the league in saves. It's not Joe Nathan. We'll pay tribute to him when we come back. Visit your local Northland Ford dealer or go to northlandford.com. And by Menards. Save big money on all your home improvement needs at Menards.
The Minnesota Twins have returned home from their West Coast road swing, and they kick off a 9-game homestand tonight at Target Field against the Kansas City Royals. I'm Robbie Mikowski. Welcome to Twins Baseball on Fox Sports North. In honor of the Twins' 50th season here in Minnesota, they are honoring their 50 greatest. Now, it's a list that was comprised by radio, print, and TV journalists throughout Twins territory, as well as senior members of the Minnesota Twins staff. Tonight, we honor closer Joe Nathan. His story is told by his setup man and good friend, Matt Guerrier.
Less than a year into his professional baseball career, Joe Nathan faced a life-changing decision. The 6'4" prospect had been drafted by the Giants as a shortstop, but after struggling in his first minor league stop, Nathan was told that his future didn't lie in the field, but rather on the mound. Unsure of just what such a change might do for his career, Nathan made a drastic choice. He left the game. After taking a year off to finish his degree at the University of Stony Brook, Nathan returned to the Giants organization in 1997 and developed into a quality pitching prospect. Yet it wasn't until 7 years later, after he arrived in Minnesota in perhaps one of the greatest trades in club history, and was slotted into the closer role, that Nathan's all-star career really took off.
Got him! Nathan saves a big ball game for the Twins in Seattle.
Despite only one career save to Nathan's name at the time of the trade, opponents quickly began to fear the lanky punch-out pitcher thanks to his sinking fastball, biting slider, and 12-6 curveball. Nathan is just the second closer in baseball history to record 36 or more saves in 6 consecutive seasons, and along the way, he secured his place as one of the elite closers in the game. Kelly Thazier, MLB.com.
Joe Nathan joins Dick and Bert in the third inning tonight. Kevin Slowey takes them out next.
Best baseball. Gardy and the gang have been outstanding at Target Field and look to continue that trend. They face a rejuvenated Royals team. New manager Ned Yost has them fired up and back on track. Twins, Royals starts now. And the Twins eager to open up this week-and-a-half-long homestand with more of the lineup intact. You see Justin Morneau ready to take the field. Michael Kadire back with the ball club after spending some time on the bereavement list. and just generally getting off the road and playing in this beautiful ballpark for the next week and a half.
Well, again, the Twins have had a lot of success here at home. They're playing .500 on the road, and that's what you want to do at 15-15 so far on the road. But the Twins 18-9 here at Target Field, and Kevin Slowey hopefully will make it 19-9 here tonight.
And some concern throughout today as to whether this game would be played at all, whether it would be played on time because of weather, but the weather's cleared. Maybe not cleared, at least it stopped raining. And here we go. The Menards batting order for the Royals. Scott Posednik leading things off. Jason Kendall hitting second. David DeJesus third. Billy Butler hitting cleanup. Jose Guillen, Alberto Callasco, Mike Aviles, Mitch Meyer. And then whether it's with Seattle or Kansas City, Yuniesky Betancourt's had great success against the Twins.
Let's take a look at the Jeep Scouting Report. Kevin Slowey making his 12th start of the year, looking for win number 7, and he's getting into a pretty good groove. We showed you the numbers in the open over his last 4 starts. 2-0, very good ERA. His last start, a very good start, even got a no decision against Seattle. The Twins ended up losing that ball game 2-1 in extra innings, but 7 very good innings.
Northland Ford defense for the Minnesota Twins. Familiar names in the outfield: Young, Span, and Kadire. The infield still a bit of chaos with Danny Valencia at third, Nick Punto at short. The Twins put Orlando Hudson on the disabled list. Matt Tolbert at second, Morneau at first, and then the Mauer behind the plate.
Well, it really doesn't matter what the defense is. They have played outstanding defense all season long. Only 15 errors. The best in all of baseball as far as the fewest errors. Twins have not had a third baseman yet make an error.
You know, it's amazing. You got a shot at Nick Punto before. Ron Gardenhire maintains, and I think even the most skeptical Twins fans would have to concede that wherever he plays in the infield, whether it's third, short, or second, he's the best fielding player the Twins have at that position. What a rare commodity to have, to be so good defensively at a variety of infield positions. And so Punto, for a while anyway, is going to be the shortstop. J.J. Hardy had a cortisone shot today to try to get some of the achiness and pain out of that bone bruise in his wrist. And we'll see if he responds to that in the next day or two.
Well, Kevin Slowey, in my opinion, has been finishing his pitches over the last 2 starts. Let's see if he continues that. And it's right there, down in the strike zone, the key to Kevin Slowey.
First pitch to Posednik, over for a strike.
Guy you want to keep off the bases, always that leadoff hitter.
And 2 strikes.
Posednik in his first season with the Royals, 10th Major League season.
Got off to a great start with the Royals, was among the league leaders in batting. Now his batting average down where it normally is in a good year for Posednik. A 1-hop smash to Morneau. And he makes it to the bag, 1 away. Yeah, hard rain at times today in the Twin Cities area. The tarp on the field till about an hour before game time. It's 68 degrees, but Bert, I know you've got your sleeves rolled down because it feels like 67.
Actually, I haven't feel it feels more like 75 than 68. But it is 68. There's Ned Yost right there, and is taking over for Trey Hillman back in May. 6 seasons as a manager of the Milwaukee Brewers.
And strike 1 to Jason Kendall. Kendall moving up to the 2nd spot on the batting order. Royals signed him to a 2-year deal in the offseason. A little pop-up. And it will reach the seats. 2 strikes.
That's one thing, Dick, that Ned Yost did. He took Jason Kendall. When we faced Kansas City here and then in KC, he was batting 6th or 7th in the lineup. Kendall is a very good handler of the bat. He doesn't strike out much. He doesn't walk much. So he's a good guy to hit behind Posednik because he can put the ball in motion and they can hit and run with him. There's a lot of things you can do with Jason Kendall.
When he was with Oakland, I remember there were times they batted him leadoff.
Right. He's a career .290 hitter. Doesn't have a lot of power. Only 75 home runs coming into the year. See the old school Doug Minkiewicz type thing. No batting gloves.
And a fly ball to left. Elman Young comes in to put it away. 2 down.
I mentioned Kevin Slowey making his 9th start, looking for his 7th win. 63 1/3 innings for Slowey. Only 15 walks with 46 strikeouts. He's allowed 8 home runs. A couple wild pitches, 74 hits in the 63 1/3 innings. Making his 2nd start against the Kansas City Royals this year.
One of the hottest Kansas City hitters, David DeJesus, stands in with 2 gone in the 1st. And Slowey starts him with a strike.
Yeah, there's some Royals in the lineup. We showed Betancourt earlier. There are some Royals in the lineup that have pretty good numbers in their career against the Twins. DeJesus, a .319 hitter against the Twins.
And inside off the plate, 1-1.
In his 8th season with the Kansas City Royals, came up first in 2003. Not much power, more of a gap type hitter.
And another fly ball to left. Delman Young settles under it. A 1-2-3, 10 pitch first inning for Kevin Slowey. An early lead. Denard Span leading off. Matt Tolbert hitting second. Mauer and Morneau in the middle, followed by Kadire. Nice to see those 3 together again. Jason Kubel hitting 6th. Delman Young's done well against Zach Greinke. Danny Valencia and Nick Punto.
And the Dodge Ram scouting report on Zach Greinke, making his 13th start of the year. Twins want him to just stay within himself. They feel that he's just he's pressing a little bit. And for some reason, he's pitched very well on the road. He doesn't have much to show for it, 0-4, but a very good 2.48 earned run average on the road in 6 starts.
No one happier to be home more than Denard Span, who had a miserable road trip with just a couple of hits, and the average is down to 264. And he takes a strike after taking a ball. The road trip started. Span was apparently soaring towards a 300 batting average, had a good homestand, headed up to 293, and a week later 29 points taken off his batting average. On the outside corner, 1-2.
Well, he's enjoyed hitting here at Target Field, hitting .374, and then hoping to improve on the road from here on out.
2-2.
Well, Zach Greinke features 4 types of pitches: a good fastball, a sinking fastball, curveball, sliders his strikeout pitch, and a very good changeup.
And a liner. Welcome home, Denard Span. Jumps right back into the hit column with a leadoff single. Northland Ford defense for the Royals. And Scott Pasetnik, fleet of foot, is in left. Mitch Meyer in center. David DeJesus in right. Alberto Callaspo at third. Betancourt and Aviles up the middle. Butler at first. And the veteran Jason Kendall behind the plate. Here's Tolbert with Callaspo in on the grass at third. And Tolbert takes inside a ball. Tolbert with a big base hit in Oakland that helped the Twins win a one-run ball game. A single in the 11th inning, driving in the game-winning run. And strikes. Tolbert's hit actually came in the 9th inning. Here's a Lincoln Mercury key stat. It wasn't just Denard Span, it was whoever was hitting behind him that struggled in the road. Hitting just 0.98. Down and away, and it's 2-1. Twins, of course, Span is always patient. Now Tolbert's taken 3 pitches. And based on what Greinke showed them when he pitched against the Twins here back in April, that might not be a bad idea. He had control problems like I've never seen before.
Yeah, season high 5 walks in the 5 innings that he pitched and lost to the Twins 10-3. Span at first base, 13 stolen bases in 14 attempts.
They got him. They picked him off. Greinke takes care of Span at first with some quick footwork.
And a perfect throw right there. All Billy Butler, the first baseman, had to do is just lower his glove. And a quick tag right there by Butler, getting Span.
So now 2-1 to Tolbert. And now 2-2.
Well, you're at home saying, you know what, Span had such a bad road trip, he didn't know what to do on first because he never got there on the road.
Hadn't seen many moves over there. And Tolbert's taken 5 pitches and has a full count. And Tolbert fills first base with a walk.
Well, what a difference a year makes for this man right here, Zach Greinke. This year, coming into this ball game, 1 win, 7 losses, an ERA of 3.6. Look where he was last year after 12 starts. 8-2, outstanding 1.55 ERA. Everything has increased. Of course, the run support, he hasn't had a lot of run support, but he has not pitched like Zach Greinke did last year.
Here's Mauer at the plate with Tolbert at first and 1 away. And he takes a strike. When Greinke faced the Twins here in April, he walked the first 2 batters, kind of setting the tone for what was to follow. Tonight, he's given up a leadoff hit and a walk to the number 2 batter. And now pitches to Mauer with 1 out and 1 on. Span, I believe, swung at 2 pitches in his at bat, the foul ball and then the base hit. Tolbert never did swing the bat. And now Mauer takes a couple of pitches.
I know we're talking to Bob McClure last time Kansas City, well, when we were in Kansas City, and Mac was telling me about Zach Greinke that he feels after winning the Cy Young that he has to almost reinvent his way of pitching. And Bob McClure is trying to just get him back into thinking, you know what got you the Cy Young last year was control of your fastball. You attack the strike zone. You have a great slider, and he felt, and Zach Greinke's saying that, well, people are sitting on my slider, but it's a nasty slider when he throws it down and in. It's hard to hit.
Hasn't retired a batter yet. Tolbert checks in at second. Mauer to center with a single. And the Twins have runners at first and second. And where would Greinke be without that pickoff of Span?
Well, a lot of it becomes the mental game. Zach Greinke has his great stuff, but you know what? Things like that happen right there sometimes. Joe Mauer, hey, this guy's a good hitter. Just dropping the barrel of a bat, lining it in center field. So runners at first and second, 1 out for Justin Morneau.
You know, what they've said of Greinke this year with just 1 win on the season, they've used a term that I think a lot of other fans have associated with hitters, that he's been pressing. You usually hear about hitters pressing. Big swing and a miss by Morneau. You don't hear so much about pitchers pressing.
Well, that's what I said in the Dodge-Ram scouting report. Quit pressing. That's what they want them to do. They want the rear back and challenge just like that.
First fastball got by Morneau. We'll see if he gets another one. Second fastball is by Morneau. 0-2. Morneau, of course, a little green behind the gills in Oakland and made a couple of pinch hitting appearances in the last 2 games.
And it's not an overpowering fastball, but he's always had very good control of that fastball. That last fastball at 94. And there's the slider right there that he misses where he should ahead in the count. And you rely on your catcher, and that being Jason Kendall, to stop that hard breaking ball.
What's amazing, and Bob McClure, I don't know, has ever had a pitcher who's got the spread that Greinke does a mid-90s fastball and a mid-70s slow breaking ball. Almost to the backstop, and it's 2-2.
As a catcher, you expect that ball down a little bit, and Kendall has to go straight up to get that fastball. Another 94-mile-an-hour fastball.
2-2 to Morneau. Fouled straight back on a pitch up and in.
A lot of pitches already for Zach Greinke. 10 in the first for Kevin Slowey. 20 so far here in the first for Zach Greinke.
Well, the first 3 batters went up there and only offered it 3 pitches. Morneau came up hacking right away with 2 men on. And Greinke challenged him with belt-high fastballs. And he got him with the slider.
And that's a slider right there that picked up 242 strikeouts last year with the help of that fastball. Good hard breaking ball underneath that swing of Justin. Greinke picking up a strikeout, his first.
And that'll bring up Cuddyer back with the team after missing 4 games. To the sudden passing of his father-in-law. Lifted foul over the Twins dugout, 1 strike. Cuddyer hit a home run in Seattle. His first road home run. The other 6 have come at home. Toward the hole. It'll bleed through. Tolbert flies around third. He'll score, and the Twins draw first blood.
Well, it looked like Greinke went for that fastball that ran in on Cuddyer, and he got the barrel out quickly and picks up an RBI. Him opened up so quickly, hit that ball between third and short into left field. Posednik, you're going to run on that arm right there, but the speed of Tolbert with 2 outs scores the first run for Michael Cuddyer, his 30th RBI of the year.
Here's Kubel. And there's ball 1. Kubel third on the team and runs batted in, even though his batting average has been well below the standard he has set over the last couple of years. There's that low to mid-70s curveball over for a strike. See the Twins hitting a .264 in situations like this, which doesn't sound like much, but it's third in the American League.
You think of all the bases loaded situations they have been in. Another good off-speed pitch.
Now you had 3 pitches that you could throw for strikes: a fastball, a curve, and the change, and variations from those. You change speeds on your curveball and your fastball. This guy's got 4 pitches at his fingertips, literally, that he can throw at any time.
But everything keys off the fastball. Everything keys off the fastball. And I keep saying that everything keys off the fastball. You have to have control of the fastball to get into the count that your other pitches become more effective. And they feel that he's just trying to sometimes nitpick a little bit too much. Greinke with good control. 17 walks in 75 innings coming into this ballgame.
1-2 to Kubel. The Twins already putting a run on the board here in the first. Foul back.
And you know what? We showed you also, folks at home, you know, the lack of run support he's been able to get or not get. His last 3 starts, every time he's taken a mound, when he left the game, there was a 0 on the board for his team. So he hasn't had a lot of run support, so that plays in your mind too. If I make a mistake, I'm going to, you know, maybe lose this ball game. He may already think out there, you know what, I've lost this ball game. I gave up a run.
And you say, well, that's kind of foolish, but then you look back at his month of May. He lost 2 1-0 games in May. Two and 2 to Kubel. A blast to right center field. Halfway up the wall, it'll score 1. It'll score 2, and it's 3-0 Minnesota.
A lot of fans on their feet saying, "Boo" for Jason Kubel. Boy, he jumped all over this fastball. Again, control of that fastball. And Kubel jumps all over that high fastball. A big 2-run double, giving the Twins an early 3-0 lead. Kubel now with 33 runs driven in.
And a 3 spot for the Twins here in the first against last year's Cy Young Award winner. Delman Young next for the Twins. A high fly to left center field, chased by Meyer. And Greinke faces 7 men in the first, retires just 2 batters, and the Twins hang a 3 up in the first.
Player draft, and with that pick they selected another right-handed pitcher. It's Alex Wimmers, who comes from the Ohio State University. He was selected 21st overall, and he has had a spectacular college career. He's a 2-time Big Ten Pitcher of the Year. He was the only selection for the Twins on day 1. He threw the only 9-inning no-hitter in the history of Ohio State University. There's General Manager Bill Smith trying to maybe research a few more guys he could select here on day 2 of the draft. But he's a native of Cincinnati, Wimmer is, and he's from Moeller High School, where he also had the career-high record in batting average. He batted .457, and now he's drafted 21st overall as a pitcher in the major leagues. And you want to talk about pedigree, guys. Ken Griffey Jr., Barry Larkin, and former Royals manager Buddy Bell, just some of the products to come out of that high school.
Yeah, pretty good high school. Thank you very much. Pat Tabler came out of that high school. Teammate of mine with Kansas City. Cleveland.
Billy Butler with a fly that sends Kidire back toward the track with a quick first out here in the second inning. Twins putting 3 runs up on the first. They had gone 64 innings since the last time they scored 3 in an inning. It was the second inning of the first game in Seattle. So Slowey staked to some early run support.
Gotta love that. Now just go out there and throw strikes. And Slowey can do that.
Jose Guillen, the hitter. And Slowey starting seemingly everybody with strike 1 on the first pitch.
Yeah, 5 for 5 so far.
And 11 of the 13 pitches for strikes. 2 strikes. It's a Kansas City team. Even when we saw them in April, they were hitting the ball very well. And to the surprise of many, the Royals had the league's best team batting average early on. Right now they're second to the Yankees. Don't have the power of New York, but you can understand why there was some unrest in Kansas City. This Kansas City lineup pretty potent, and if anything, an underachieving pitching staff, and that I think as much as anything else led to the managerial change.
Yeah, I mean, they're hitting 279 as a ball club. Yankees are hitting 281 as a ball club.
But 279, that's plenty.
Yeah, Twins are hitting 267. That's 6th best in the American League. They scored 253 runs, the Kansas City Royals have, to the 267 by the Twins. So offensively, very good numbers. But the pitching staff 11th in the American League, and the Twins are 2nd.
To me, you look at the Kansas City situation and what's happened so far, and it's a classic case of a team underachieving under a manager, and it's not the manager's fault. I mean, Trey Hillman, a good baseball guy and knew his personnel well. Now 3-2. But just changing managers, and it seems like it's given everybody a fresh start, almost like it's opening day, and they're playing much better.
Well, they said that Ned Yost is making more players accountable. Now, what that means, I guess only Ned Yost would know, but maybe the way that he approached the players, maybe a little different than Trey Hillman. Hillman didn't have any major league experience, but they've had managers before that were like Ned Yost, the Tony Peñas and the Tony Musers that had major league experience. You just want to know what direction your system is going, and I think in Kansas City, nobody really knows for sure.
There's a drive to deep left center field towards the bullpen. Span makes the catch. And if he wasn't welcome to Target Field in April, welcome Jose Guillen to Death Valley at Target Field. 2 down. Twins baseball is brought to you in Sony High Definition. Well, Bob McClure. He's a teammate of yours, former teammate of yours. He's probably saying the same things to his pitchers that he said under the Trey Hillman regime, but for some reason now they're pitching better. Brian Bannister's been outstanding. Kyle Davies is pitching better.
Luke Hochevar's pitching better.
Right. And a liner to third, and that'll wrap up things for the Royals in the second inning. A 10-pitch first, followed by an 11-pitch second. 5 and home to the Pipestone National Monument. And the Pipestone area is a leader in wind technology with nearly 800 wind generator towers. Good start for the Twins here as they have a 3-0 lead against Zach Greinke. Danny Valencia will lead things off. A drive down the line, hooking foul by a couple of feet. And Valencia nearly got his first outfield base hit.
That would have been his first extra base hit. He has 3 hits so far, all of them infield base hits. And jumping on that first pitch, the ball just landing foul. You know, if I'm Zach Greinke, I look back at that first inning. It's a walk to Matt Tolbert that I would have been upset about. You know, Denard Span, I mean, he's hitting almost 400 here. He's a good hitter, but you have to get Matt Tolbert out right there. He ended up walking him, and now you've got a guy on with Mauer, Morneau, Kadire coming up, and also Kluber.
And the walk came, 2 pitches after the pickoff.
Right.
You know, it could have been a big, break for the Royals. You give up a base hit, but you pick off the runner, and then 2 pitches later, there's somebody else standing at first base.
It's that walk that really ends up hurting you sometimes in a ballgame.
And another bouncer foul. Valencia's pulled a few against Greinke. 1 and 2. The strikeouts are down for Greinke. Teams are finding ways to score enough runs to beat him. Cy Young winning season, 16 wins and just 1 so far. There's that super slow breaking ball. Actually backed that up to the mid-60s. So we've seen fastballs in the mid-90s and the super slow breaking ball 30 miles per hour slower. And then the slider strikes him out. 1 down. Nick Punto getting a chance to take his swings against a guy he really respects.
He was Cy Young last year. He's got the same stuff. Nothing's changed. You know, we're facing Zach Greinke. We're not facing Zach Greinke, who's 1 and 7. We know what we got our work cut out for us. And we know what he does, and we're going to expect him to be at his best.
And he delivers strike 1 to Punto. Nice catch by Greinke as he takes a hit away from Punto. 2 down. So Punto retired. A couple of quick outs, and here comes Span. So 2 down, and Span, who singled and was picked off, and he sneaks one under the glove of Butler. And we'll see whether they rule that a hit or an error. Span jumping on the first pitch after taking a few in his first at bat.
Yeah, that's a ball that should be caught right there. That by Billy Butler. Span hitting this ball sharply, and one thing behind Greinke, that if that's an error right there, that would be the 11th error with him on the mound behind him.
And it is an error charged, and Span nearly got picked off again. And Tolbert wallops one foul. 1 strike.
For the Royals, that was their 40th error of the year. Currently 9th most errors in the American League. And the Twins with only 15.
And that time was called at the plate before Greinke completed the pickoff throw. One strike to Tolbert. And a foul flip the other way. 2 strikes. keeping close tabs on Spann. Over the Royals dugout again. Still 2 strikes.
Yeah, for Zach Greinke, he's making his 149th Major League start. He has 51 wins, 60 losses. 3-5 lifetime against the Twins.
And a slider got him on the inside corner. 3-0 Minnesota. When we come back in the 3rd inning, we'll be joined by Joe Nathan. You can get involved in our telecast tonight and let us know who you think will be the Arby's Value Player of the game. Text the word value followed by a space in the player's name to short code 234-234. And so far, Kevin Slowey with 6 up and 6 down is the top vote getter. Mike Aviles leading things off for the Kansas City Royals, coming back after having Tommy John surgery a year ago. And with that in mind, we'll welcome to the booth Joe Nathan, who had Tommy John surgery this year. Joe, great to see you.
Good to see you guys. Good to be up here. Nice view up here.
Yeah, we do have a nice view up here, don't we? Well, we'll talk with Joe about his recovery from surgery, what he's able to do, what he's unable to do. First of all, how does the elbow feel?
Everything feels great right now. Everything's on track and on pace. Been coming in every day and getting the work in, and now we're starting to be able to strengthen it and start to lift some weights and move the arm around, so everything's feeling great.
I had the elbow surgery myself, not the Tommy John, but it takes a while. What do you do to try to, you say you're trying to stay in shape right now? More just upper body, lower body type stuff?
At first it was a lot of lower body stuff. That slowly delivers inside.
Slipping into play-by-play there. All right.
But at first it was a lot of lower body stuff, a lot of conditioning, a lot of core, getting the legs in shape until I could move my right arm around.
There's a pop-up behind second base. Tolbert hustling out, Spann hustling in, and it's Spann who makes the catch, and Tolbert backs away. And there's some of the exercises that Mr. Nathan's doing. Got a nice scar on the inside of the elbow there.
Yeah, it's something that I got to be proud of now. I got a little war wound, so got to enjoy it and show it off every once in a while.
When do you anticipate picking up a baseball and actually maybe tossing a baseball?
That starts next month, end of July.
Okay.
So it's coming along pretty quickly now.
Who have you talked to? And I guess later in this homestand, Billy Wagner's going to come in here, and he went through it later in his career, shall we say, at a similar point in his career, maybe as you. He's actually older than you are. But who have you talked to get some counsel as to what to expect
through the rehab process?
You know, a lot of guys on these on our team have been great. Pavano's been through it. Dunson's been through it. Mishak's been through it. Lariano. You know, these guys are great to talk to. Pavano's been great to get info on and really know what I have to look forward to and what I can do to, you know, keep my mind right and stay positive.
2-1 and now 3-1. One of the few batters Slowey's fallen behind on.
Had a chance to speak with Mariano when he was in town. He wanted me to call over, so I gave him a call, and he gave me some good advice as far as you know, staying positive. And
you say Mariano Rivera?
Mariano Rivera.
Okay.
Sorry.
Okay.
I just know.
Well, I know you're
Mariano.
on a first name basis, but we're not. So.
But you know, he was great because he's been through it. It was a while ago when he went through it. I think it was about 15 years ago. So you know, just getting some feedback from him, and obviously he's done well since his surgery. So it's nice to get some confidence from him and know that people can come back from this. Billy Wagner is coming in next series, and he's already got a hold of me on the phone. But I look forward to talking with him live and seeing what he thinks, since he's had the same doctor do his surgery as well.
A foul off the bat of Meyer.
Well, I know, Joe, throughout your Twins career, 246 saves as a closer. I know you're very proud of John Rouse, what he's been able to accomplish so far. It's got to be tough watching the games.
It's tough, but at the same time, it's exciting for me to kind of sit back and, you know, when you're out playing, it's really hard to learn the game and pick up on some things. You know, just because you're going through the battle. But fly out to center, Span has it.
There you go.
Well, I'll just leave.
2 away.
He's doing a good job of the play-by-play. I just take a little break here.
Well, since 2004, you see right in front of you, Joe, that you're third as far as most saves. And pretty good company right there.
To the point where today you were featured as one of the 50 top Twins in their history, and I would imagine that's quite a meaningful thing for you too.
Huge honor to be selected to that list. Obviously, joining a select group of guys that you know, I feel is such a privilege to be mentioned with, and you know, I thank the organization for the opportunity and the chance to be a part of that.
One ground ball out, and now 8 fly ball outs, and 3 perfect innings for Kevin Slowey. More from Joe Nathan coming up in the bottom of the third. "50 greatest Twins," and Joe Nathan is one of them. 4-time All-Star, great earned run average, and great save percentage. And the hope is next year you'll be back saving games for the Twins. Is that a realistic goal at this point? Has there been anything that would discourage you from thinking you'll be ready to go?
Right now, no. Everything's been on track. I don't want to look too far ahead right now and say that it's definitely going to happen, because I don't want to jinx anything right now. But everything is going according to plan, and if we stay smart and stay on the course and stick to the protocol, I don't see why that would be trouble. That's plenty of time to come back.
And I'm sure your wife Lisa probably wants that to happen real soon anyway, doesn't she?
I think so. I think we've done pretty well, though. We definitely were nervous going into the season that we might take each other's heads off, but so far it's been pretty good. I think she enjoys that I'm there to help out with the kids, and especially at this age when they're 5 and 3, it can be tough. So I think it's been going great for us.
2 strikes to Mauer now. In all honesty, how tough is it to watch the bottom or top of the ninth when, in this case, John Rauch is on the mound? Fans have a hard time. They did when you were as good as you were. Fans had a hard time watching those save situations sometimes. How is it for you to watch John Rauch try to save a game?
Oh, well, obviously I want to be out there, but getting a chance to watch him, I mean, it's been great seeing how composed he is right away. I think him having those saves before and having a chance to fill in for somebody has really helped, and I think having the opportunity right from the start this year really helped them. I think, if it would be one thing if I went down in the middle of the season and they had to make an adjustment that way, but I think going into the year, at least them knowing they got to do something, and John was told from the start that he's going to be able to have an opportunity to go out, really helped him, and he's looked great. He's throwing strike one, and that's been his biggest thing. He could throw 4 pitches for strikes and working ahead in the count.
Nice pickup at third by Cayasco. Mauer hits it sharply, but for an out, 1 away in the third. Time to vote for the 2010 All-Star teams. It'll be playing in the Midsummer Classic in Anaheim. Joe Nathan normally there. You can vote for all the Twins and the rest of your favorite major leaguers online at twinsbaseball.com. Vote early, vote often. Help the Twins be well represented. Twinsbaseball.com, where Twins baseball is always on, encouraging numbers for Justin Morneau, as he is now past Mark Teixeira, taking over the leadership at first base.
And he should be. And good. I'm glad that, again, the good baseball fans out there are voting for the right guy, and that's Justin Morneau.
Well, I always said, the people will eventually get this thing right. At first, I think the New York fans are going to take a lead, but I think as you go along and you see the numbers that Morneau is putting up, and especially when you put him up against Teixeira, I think it's safe to say that Morneau deserves to be at first base, especially starting that game.
But it's not just the fans in Minnesota as opposed to the fans in New York. It's the fans in Kansas City who I think are Pittsburgh, wherever. They're savvy enough to look at the numbers. And if they're not going to vote for Billy Butler, who next would you vote for? And I think it's the other markets that eventually would lead to someone like Morneau to come over the top and be the fan favorite.
Well, you hope they just get it right. I think these 2 guys here in this ballpark right now probably do have, for first basemen, have the best numbers for first basemen in the league. So, that should be the way to get them in.
Well, Zach Greinke getting Justin Morneau for the second time. First time down and in, and this one a fastball out over the plate. And Gary Cederstrom, the home plate umpire, said it had enough of the plate for strike 3. 4th strikeout for Greinke in the ball game.
Dyer takes down and away, ball 1.
Joe, does it help going through what you're going through that the Twins have a 3.5 game lead, that they're playing really good baseball?
Well, I think coming in, the biggest question everyone wanted to know was how we were going to play here, how the Twins are going to come out and play an outdoor baseball. I think Ozzie Guillen was one of the first guys to say, now that they're out of that dome, they're going to be in trouble. And see what these guys are doing at home now. We're just taking it right over from the dome and playing well here. So, we said from the start, home field advantage is the crowd and being comfortable in your surroundings and sleeping in your own bed and being with your family. So, we thought when we came over that it was going to be a situation where we were going to still play well because, we were going to get comfortable with this place. We didn't know it was going to be this quick, starting right from the first month, but we thought we can definitely adjust.
And how nice is it to play in front of 39,000 people every night?
I think the best part about it, too, is, even when we had pretty good crowds in the dome, the atmosphere is different. You know, there would still be times, and there's a base hit to left field.
Kadier back in the lineup with 2 base hits pulled through the hole to left.
So there was times in the dome, even when it was crowded, that you didn't hear anyone. And, you know, I think now the atmosphere here it's kind of like a party atmosphere, and everybody's into the game from start to finish. And, you know, if not, they're hanging out and having good times, enjoying the stadium. So this place just brings a different atmosphere and something that as players we love being here, because when the fans are usually having fun, the players are going to enjoy themselves a lot more out there at the same time.
Right.
Here's Kubel. Kubel with a 2-run double. He smashed it against the fence in right center field. On a personal level, how disappointed are you that you're not able to play in the first year in this ballpark?
Extremely. That was definitely the first thought that went through my mind when the injury happened, and when I knew that, you know, I wasn't going to be able to play this season. Was, man, that's going to be tough, because this is the first year here. But at the same time, you know, I had to move past that. I had to, you know, concentrate on what I need to do to get back in 2011, and that's the most important thing for me right now. And this park's still going to be just as nice next year as it is this year.
Right. Tap foul, 1-2 to Kubel. Well, a good start for the Twins. 3 runs in the first inning against Zach Greinke. Dick Bramer, Bert Blyleven have been joined here in innings 3, and I think if you're nice enough to stick with us through the 4th inning as well, joined by Joe Nathan. And rather than call you the former closer, we'll call you the future closer. We'll keep everything positive that you will be back next year and being able to pitch in this ballpark.
That's right. We'll start my rookie season next year.
1-2, Greinke to Kubel. Twins trying to get something started here with 2 gone in the 3rd. Chop foul.
Joe, when you're around the guys and you see this lineup, very well balanced Minnesota Twin lineup.
Very well balanced. I think that's been the best thing about them is, you know, even here where the home runs haven't been, you know, at a surplus, but every other category has gone up. Their doubles are higher, their triples are higher, their run scored's higher, their batting average here is higher. So, and fly ball left field.
Just go ahead and take it to break.
All right. Good segment. I believe that's what segment.
Yes, it is.
A little difficult, but that ends the 3rd. We'll head to the 4th.
We didn't score. What happened?
Over a big fan sitting right behind the Twins dugout.
Yeah, Kubel with that 2-run double, giving the Twins an early 3-0 lead against Zach Greinke, and a 9-up, 9 down for Kevin Slowey so far in the ball game on only 36 pitches.
Pasetnik will lead things off here in the fourth. That young man that you saw when Michael Kadire was at the plate, Jason Kubel was in the on-deck circle. There was a foul ball that ended up in Kubel's hands, and he tried to toss it to the young man and hit the roof of the dugout and hit the young man right in the mouth. Not hard enough to do anything other than make the boy wince a little bit, and he ended up with the baseball. And then after the inning was over with, Jason gave him his bat.
Well, that'll be, I think that's worth it then, taking one off the chops.
Kubel's in the on-deck circle, and he tried to give the young man the ball, and that didn't turn out so good. So he found a game bat, found the young man, said, "Here, I'll just push it to you."
Very nice. Very nice gesture right there.
1-2 to Pasetnik. Royals looking for their first base runner. Pasetnik is the only man who hit the ball on the ground the first 3 innings. He hit a hard one-hopper to Morneau. Everything else has been hit in the air. There's a called third strike, and Slowey gets his first strikeout.
Well, like Zach Greinke, Kevin Slowey all about control, and he hits the inner half of the plate right here. Watch Joe moving inside. First strike 3.
Fox Tracks brought to you by the Minnesota Department of Public Safety. Buckle up and get home safely. Are you superstitious, Joe Nathan?
Absolutely. I don't think there's one guy that's out on the field that isn't.
I'm not, but what I'm suggesting is you better stay right here if Slowey has another perfect inning.
I'm not even going to talk about it, to tell you the truth.
I remember in New York when David Wells threw his perfect game, Billy Crystal was going to come over about the 5th or 6th inning, and he was in a box a couple over. And they asked him at the time, would you like to come over? And he said, no, I'm not leaving my seat.
Exactly.
And David Wells ended up pitching the perfect game.
He's a baseball guy. He knows what to do.
2 quick strikes to Jason Kendall, who hit a fly ball to left his first time up. I think the Crystal had agreed to come over before the game, and then by the 5th inning when he was supposed to come over, he said, I'm not budging. This guy's got a perfect game, and he stayed right there.
Very understandable.
44 pitches for Slowey, 32 of them strikes. And he's ahead of Kendall 0-2.
I think the one thing Slowey's really worked on is getting deeper in the games and trying to get these guys out, on those first 3 pitches. And he's done a great job of getting deeper in the games now.
Yeah, the last 2, 6 2/3 innings. His last time 7 out innings. Against the Seattle Mariners, he's hooked up against Cliff Lee. So your mound opponent is going to go deep into the ball game as Lee did. And that's what you expect when you face a guy like Zach Greinke, that it's going to be a close ball game.
Definitely.
Kendall fouls another one back. I mean, you'll go through some of that even as a closer next year when you come back. I mean, you're not going to be, on April 1st, be running at full speed already, are you?
Well, I'm going to plan on being that way, but obviously there will be some ups and downs. Very nice pitch right there.
I mean, as a closer, it's going to take a while, I would think, before you're 100% physically and mentally and everything.
Well, let's take a look at this pitch real quick as he waves at it. Good little slider on the outer half. But
Kendall out front a little bit, but swings through it.
I mean, that's something I'm just going to have to pay attention to as the time comes and play it by ear. But, I got to go in with the expectation that, I'm getting myself prepared to be 100% come not just April 1st, but come into spring training. I want to be, ready to go then and obviously not burn myself out to get to that point. But, do what I need to do now so I'm ready to join these guys and do everything full speed, 100%, just like everybody else is in spring. And if we need to make adjustments from there, we will. But that's my plan right now, and that's my goal.
And a called strike, 1-1.
Have you found out, talking to all these other guys that have gone through the Tommy John, that everybody's different as far as the time frame coming back?
Absolutely. Especially when you're going from starting to relieving, coming back and trying to get back as a starter is a lot tougher. You got the ups and downs. You got to throw, then you got to sit down, then you got to get back up, then you got to sit down and get back up. So that takes a lot on your arm, and especially when you're coming back from surgery, it's going to take a lot to get back to full strength. So as a reliever, going out 1, maybe 2 innings, hopefully you could come back quicker and get that full strength a little faster than starting. But everybody's different. I've heard guys that are ready to go in 9 months. I've heard guys that take, 2 years. So
that's line to the left field corner and a foul ball by about 2 feet.
I think, I'm going to use Liriano as an example. He had that Tommy John surgery back in, I believe, the winter of 2006.
Yep.
And now I think, here we are, 2010. He's starting to really say, not even go out there and worry about it anymore.
Here's that last ball. A couple feet. But yeah, talking about Liriano, it's one of those situations where, when you saw him back when he was in 2006, when he was just so dominant, he definitely has more of a violent motion and threw a lot of sliders. So, trying to come back, and then he had to, not only come back from surgery, but it was almost like he was trying to figure out what type.
You're not going anywhere.
We're going to buckle you in the chair, pal.
I have to hold still, yeah.
4 perfect innings for Kevin Slowey. Two World Series championships, earn a spot in the Twins Hall of Fame. The greatest honor, he's got a bar here named after him. Ken Hrbek. And Bob Horner that year was a #1 overall pick by the Atlanta Braves. If you're here at Target Field, you get a chance to come by Hrbek's. He would appreciate that. Might actually see him there. 1-1 to Delmon Young, leading off the 4th inning for the Twins. It'll be Young, Valencia, and Punto. And that's flipped foul over the Twins dugout.
Well, again, we're here with Joe Nathan. Joe, we were talking about Liriano. You mentioned Liriano not only having the Tommy John surgery in November 2006, but also his windup, too, was very violent at the time, and that's something he had to kind of corral a little bit.
He did. I think he had to figure out what type of pitcher he was going to become, and I think he went through a time where he was trying to stay away from the slider, which is really his bread and butter. I mean, that's his out pitch. So to tell someone they can't throw that as many times, that's gonna play with your mind a little bit. So I think now that he's feeling good again and he realizes, he needs to throw that pitch. I mean, maybe not for a first strike all the time, or throw it 3 times in at bat all the time, but I think now he feels comfortable with the base hit up the middle by Delmon, still swinging a good bat. And I think now that he's feeling good, I think the best thing for him is he's confident. He's confident that his arm's going to hold up, and he's using all his pitches again, and he's getting back to his old form.
Well, let me ask you one more thing, Joe, because someone that had the elbow surgery like myself and also the shoulder surgery, you go through a period, and I'm sure you've probably talked to people, that all of a sudden one day you wake up and you don't think about it.
Yep.
I mean, every day you wake up right now and you wonder, how's my elbow? Another base hit right up the middle, right off the bat of Danny Valencia, and he gets his first hit at the major league level that actually hits some outfield grass.
Nearly cracked a double his first time up. A solid stroke up the middle, and the Twins have a promising start to the fourth.
A good swing right there by Valencia, going right up the middle. So the Twins have a couple runners on. You're nobody out. Nick Punto up.
Bob McClure to the mound here with Nick Punto in a possible bunting situation, and a quick trip to the mound by the Kansas City pitching coach.
But I think the biggest thing, what I was trying to say, Joe, is that, you know, it's always there in the back of your mind, and then one day you wake up and you know what, and I think that's what Liriano's going through. He doesn't think about it anymore.
Absolutely. You know, you see it in his eyes. He just comes to the park on his days he needs to pitch, and he's got one thing, and that's focusing on what he needs to do out on the mound. Having gone through a surgery back in 2000 with my shoulder, you know, it was something similar to that, where you just wake up one day and you go out and throw and don't think about your arm anymore. And that's when you're really past the surgery, and that's when you're 100% ready to go and ready to move forward and just play this game of baseball.
And anybody out there that's had surgery, whether it be your knee or whatever, your hip or whatever, that day will come that, hey, you can just say, you know, I can go on with life now.
Exactly. And that's probably the greatest day. And you could see on Liriano's face how relaxed, and you know, he's definitely a different person in the clubhouse, and he's just concentrating on, like I said, his task at hand. And days he's not pitching, you can see that he's relaxed and enjoying himself now, and he doesn't have to concentrate on whether his elbow is going to feel good the next day or not.
First bunt attempt goes foul. Punto might be asked to bunt again. That trip to the mound, that's not anything other than what plays are we going to put on for the bunt, I would imagine.
I'll probably give Greinke a little breather, maybe you know, settle him down right now. A couple guys on early in the inning.
Punto has one sacrifice on the year. What he wants to do is try to bunt it over to Callaspo at third. Make him field a bunt. That's a good bunt right there. He got the job done. And that's all you're asked to do right there. So a very good at bat for Nick Punto.
That was perfect. Right there, you're just looking to, like you said, either bunt it hard to third to make him field it, or kill it like that and make somebody come in and have to make a tough play on the run.
On both of those bunt plays, Callaspo stayed at third, and Greinke was responsible for the bunt up the line. It's almost like he had to reverse his field to field a bunt that was bunted directly back toward the mound.
Exactly.
You know what I think too, Bob McClure, because Zach Greinke is a very good athlete. Very good athlete. And I think they thought, you know, let's take that chance. You cover third, you stay at third base, Callaspo, and we'll try to get that out of Delman Young at third.
Span lifts it foul with the infield in, one away, and the Twins have a chance to increase the 3-0 lead.
And you will see that when you have a good athlete on the mound, you'll see the third baseman, unless it's a bullet to third where he has to field it.
And of course, the pitchers are the best athlete out there.
Oh, definitely, for sure. Especially when you're talking to a pitcher, that's definitely what you're going to hear.
One strike to Span. He singled his first time up, got a ball past Butler into right field. He reached on an error, and now a rocket over Scotty Elges.
Well, watch his play right here. Greinke, his responsibility is to get that third baseline. You see him running toward the line. Now he has to make the adjustment barehanded and get the out at first base.
And that's exactly what he needs to do. That you're taught to deliver the baseball and move towards the third baseline. And then make the adjustment, like you said, to come back if he does bunt it straight back at you.
First most important thing, throw a strike. If you're going to go that way, throw it strike.
Definitely.
Make him bunt the ball.
Span. Hard ground ball under the glove of Aviles. Young scores, Valencia right behind him, and Span drives in two with a single.
Boy, this game is great to second guess. Right there, Greinke ahead in the count. I thought maybe he'd go with that slider down and in, or try to go hard in. I don't know what he was trying to do right here, but this is too good a pitch right here, because that ball just kind of floated right over the middle of the plate, and Span had an opportunity to drive that ball hard through the infield. And it's a big two-run single for Bernard Span as the Twins take a 5-0 lead.
Eighth hit against Zach Greinke. And here's Tolbert taking outside ball one.
Yeah, but sometimes, Dick and Joe, when you're going bad like that, every mistake you make it multiplies. Right there, I don't know what Greinke was thinking right there, trying to sneak a fastball outer half of the plate. You got to bust him hard in or go with that slider. That's a strikeout pitch.
It looked like it looked like exactly that. It was a mistake that he left out over the plate, trying to maybe throw a two-seamer, one of those comebackers inside, and it went back out over the plate on him.
You know, Bert and I have talked about this before. One of the phrases in baseball that I've never liked, when you see a team drop down a bunt, it'll be said that they're playing for one run, but more often than not, a well-placed sacrifice bunt leads to a crooked number. That he got the bunt down, brought the infield in. Otherwise, Aviles maybe makes that play, and who knows where this inning is going to lead with just one out. But so often somebody will drop down a bunt, and instead of playing for one run, 3, 4, 5 are put up.
Well, especially in this league, you don't see it too often. But you know, with our organization, we've always prided ourselves on doing those little things right. And you see right there, getting the job done right there leads to 2 runs.
Well, and that's good team play. Guys picking up each other. Great bunt by Nick Punto. And Span gets rewarded with that base hit because of what Nick Punto helped him get in that situation.
And no one's happier than Denard to be back here, I'll tell you.
Yeah. Been picked off once and nearly picked off another time. We'll see if the Twins do anything here with a 2-1 count on Tolbert. Span stays put. Tolbert swings through it. 2-2. 82 pitches already for Greinke. He has only retired 9 batters, and one of those was the sacrifice bunt that the Twins gave up the out. Grounder to third. Nice backhand pickup by Callaspo. Out at second. Tolbert beats the relay. So Tolbert hits it sharply on the ground, and the Kansas City third baseman turns it into 1 out. You can ask a question of us online, or if you'd like, offer up a question or comment at carsoup.com/baseball. Steve Anderson from Brooklyn Park. Do the Twins keep scouting reports on umpires? And we'll ask that of our guest in the booth here, Joe Nathan.
Yeah, it's a great question. And, you know, it is something that we have available to us to see. You know, hitters will check out to see who's behind the plate and see where their zone is. You know, some umpires definitely have tendencies just like, you know, pitchers do. So, you know, some umpires see that inside part of the plate a little better. Some see the outside part of the plate a little better. You know,
some of them don't, and they'll give you the outside part of the plate.
Well, yeah, but, you know, that's usually the way it is. When you see the inside part of the plate better, usually that outer half, they'll be more forgiving. You know, usually as a pitcher, we could see where they set up. Most of the guys set up on the inside part of the plate, which means they'll give a little more on the outer half because they can't really differentiate what's on the outside corner and maybe a little off. So that's how we try and pick on that one side a little more than the other. But you know, they definitely do have some reports on them, and you see what zones they like to call.
Lauer strikes out on 3 pitches, but the Twins get a big 2-run single from Denard Span, and after 4, they've got a 5-0 lead.
Sports North. I'm Robbie Mikowski in the Minnesota State Lottery. Winner's Circle, I've got $100 right here in Minnesota State Lottery tickets, and they're from Marnie here. And, Dick, you'll be proud of this. She's part of the St. Cloud contingent here at Target Field today.
Yes!
And look at this.
Oh, geez.
She made this bed sheet. She is the human Homer Hanky. Marnie is here. I don't know, Dick, what they teach everyone
St. Cloud,
up
right.
in St. Cloud State. I don't know what they teach them, but they're good at turning bed sheets into Homer Hankies.
Well, you are hereby circled.
Hey, we got 500 St. Cloud State alums sitting up there. This is St. Cloud State night at the Twins. And
is that all that graduated?
As we pointed out before, a few years ago, when we counted up, was it 25 men and women on our broadcast crew, and I think 13 of them were graduates of St. Cloud State. So we're very proud of St. Cloud State and the broadcast department and the other departments as well. 1-2 to Billy Butler leading off the fifth. The Royals have not had a base runner, which means Kevin Slowey has pitched 4 perfect innings. Butler hit a fly ball to right his first time up.
Oh, this guy's a good hitter right here. Butler came into the ball game hitting .330. Now, did he graduate from St. Cloud too?
Yeah.
There's another one probably.
Tim and Mike, camera people here on our crew. A high pop-up foul ball, and our camera guys have this covered. And Punto makes the catch, I think.
Did he? Absolutely.
Yes, a great catch by Punto to get it out of the fifth.
All right there by the ball boy as he got out of the way. The good concentration and again the speed of Nick Punto.
One of the best defenders in the league for sure.
Cat-like instincts, knows where he's at, reaches over the railing. And right there, it's Nick Punto. And
human highlight reel.
Yep.
One down, and here's Jose Guillen. Joe, we were talking about that. What a rare commodity it is to have a player like Punto, and whether he's playing at third, short, or second, and he's played all 3 of those positions behind you. He's the best fielding position, or he's the best guy defensively at that position the Twins have.
Absolutely. You know, as for a pitching staff to have this guy behind you, you feel so confident.
And there's the first Kansas City hit. Guillen drives one sharply to center with 1 out in the fifth.
Does that mean I got to leave?
I tell you what, we'll have you back again.
But but having Nicky back there for a pitching staff is huge. Gives us all the confidence in the world. You know, for me, I like seeing him where he can range a little more. You know, having him at third sometimes definitely takes away some of his range, but he's still great on coming in on balls too. So, you know, just for as being a pitcher and talking for the entire pitching staff, we love when he's behind us.
Can't beat your defense behind you. You're only as good as your defense. That's all we say. Nice gesture by the fans here, applauding Kevin Slowey for the fine effort that he had. He had 4 perfect innings, able to get Butler out for the first out, and then Jose Guillen got the base hit.
I wonder how the Twins will handle this. Armando Galarraga got 26 outs and had the missed call, and the folks at GM still gave him a Corvette. Now, you know, Slowey should get something for taking a perfect game into the fifth. Maybe not a new car.
Yeah, I think.
But a used vehicle of some sort, maybe.
Maybe yours.
Don't you think?
Yeah, if he finishes his game and that's his only hit, I think we should get him a used car for sure.
Okay. How about that? I mean, the Galarraga thing, you know, is a story unto itself.
Well, what do we got?
Up and away, it's 2-1. But Roy Halladay completed the perfect game, and he got a pitching rubber for it. And Galarraga had one taken away from him, and he got a new Corvette.
I'll tell you what, though, Galarraga showed a lot of class through all that.
I think that's probably one of the best things I've seen in a long time. I think I thought it'd be 100% of the guys would have probably went ballistic after that call, but seeing the way he reacted and the way he handled it was definitely a class act.
Fly to short left, and Delman Young with the catch, 2 away.
I think, Joe, too, the way that Jim Joyce handled it after he realized, you know, he saw the replay, and I mean, he said, you know, I feel so bad. I mean, he actually wept the next day at home plate when Galarraga brought out the lineup card. So 2 class acts right there. It just so happened that, it ruined the perfect game.
Yeah, I think, they both, allowed this thing, I think, to pass as quick as we can. You don't hear too many talks about it anymore. And hopefully the fans weren't too upset and they're not giving them too many threats. Like you heard with, help me with the name.
Don Denkinger, right.
Yeah, let me ask you, here's big slow breaking ball right here by Kevin Slowey for a strike. Instant replay. I like the home run thing, but do you want to bring it in on, other things?
For me, I'm all about, human error. I mean, it's about the game. It's the way the game's been for a long time. I think part of the entertainment value is seeing the manager and the umpires get into it every once.
One and 2 to Avivas. Dick Bramer, Burke Lilovan joined by Joe Nathan. Check swing. They'll appeal. No, and it's 2-2. So I think you're giving the same answer that I would give, and I'm a proponent of it. I think in the case of Galarraga's missed the perfect game that night, the Twins lost a ball game on a play at second base that could have been overturned. And to give each manager 1 appeal per game, and I think most managers would hang on to it in the event you did have a late inning situation you wanted to overturn. To left field, that'll die in front of Young. First and second, 2 away.
Yeah, I mean, it's something where the ump's out there, and he's trying his best to get their calls right. They don't want to miss calls. They'd love to get everything right, but at the same time, they're not perfect. They're not going to get every call right. You hope at the big moment of the game that they do get it right, but I think in those spots they wouldn't argue that they'd rather get the right call, and if instant replay can help on those calls, then great.
Here is Mitch Meyer with runners at first and second and 2 down. He takes low, ball 1.
I'm against it. I just think, the game has been played, like you mentioned, for years and years and years, for 150 years. These guys in blue wore black. They call them men in blue, but they always wore black. I couldn't figure that out. But, I think they're right 99% of the time. It's that one time that's like, that Dale Scott missed that call.
At second base.
At second base in Seattle. That happens. That happens everywhere. So why should we have the right to, judge that one as, the perfect game? Should we stop? If Galarraga, they review that, is it the same? Is it the same excitement? I don't know.
Well, I would think, and maybe someone's asked Jim Joyce this, I would guess that he would be tremendously relieved if they had somehow either had a review process in place immediately, and he might have been the only guy that would have been a proponent of Commissioner Seelig. There's a drive to high and deep right center field. Span on the run. Leaps and makes the catch.
He's got that. No doubt about that.
There's that defense.
Caught on a warning track. The Royals get a couple of hits, but they don't score thanks to Denard Span, and our thanks to Joe Nathan for a visit here tonight.
Thank you guys for having me. Appreciate it.
Shortstop's showing some range. Center fielder showing some range. Robbie Ince-Mikowski, Bert Blylev, and Dick Bramer happy to be bringing you the opening game of this 9-game homestand.
Well, like Joe Nathan said, you can't play this game without great defense. A Denard Span, great catch right there to end the top of the 5th inning.
1-0 to Morneau, and now down and in 2-0. The Twins have made Greinke work. He's had to throw a lot of pitches, already 88 of them. They've collected 8 hits against him and scored 5 runs. They have not hit a ball over the fence. Jason Kubel hit one against the fence for a 2-run double in the first. You had to pitch for some lineups that weren't the most productive in the league. What's you gave me a number once, so the number of games you lost 1-0 or 2-1.
Well, I know somebody told me I lost 10 1-0 ball games.
Okay.
And I lost like 139 of them by 3-2, 2-1, 4-3, something like that. But you know what, Dick? You can't let that bother you when you go out there. You can't think that your team's not going to score you any runs. You have to go out there. If I'm going to lose, a lot of times I'd give up a run in the first inning. And I told myself, if I lose this ball game, I'm going to lose 1-0. Right. And then that's the way the mindset you have to have out there.
There's a check swing, and Morneau has struck out 3 times against Greinke.
He struck him out with a fastball down and in that he swung through in his first at-bat. Then the fastball away, and then he goes to a breaking ball that just kind of froze Justin for strike 3. So Greinke picks up his 6th strikeout of the ball game. You're going to go through ups and downs in your career. You wish that everything, if I'm Zach Greinke, I wished everything went into order the way it did last year. But it doesn't. And it builds character. I guess that's the best way to look at it. And he's run right now 1-7 coming into this ballgame. Not a bad ERA at 3.6, but again, they don't put a lot of runs on the board, but you cannot allow a lot of runs.
A high fly to left. Pasednik back. And you could tell from the time at left home plate, he just got underneath it. 2 down. Before Kubel comes to the plate, we have our AT&T trivia question. Who are the 4 first-round draft picks in the Twins lineup tonight? There are a couple of number 1 overall picks.
We just saw number 5, and then Joe Mauer.
Mauer, a number 1 overall pick. There's one other in the Twins lineup. Ball 1 to Kubel.
Now, I did say Twins number 1 pick. Or just number 1 pick.
That's right.
Because Delman Young was a number 1 pick.
Right.
He was
in the Twins lineup. So Young would be in that group too. Kubel with the biggest hit, and there have been a handful of them for the Twins. A 2-run double back in the first. A high fly to deep right field.
See ya.
Kubel has touched one off, and it is gone. Kubel goes yard, and it's 6-0.
Well, there was no doubt about this one because this was that slow breaking ball, and Kubel did a great job of waiting back on it, and then he clobbered it.
Guess he didn't need the bat he gave away in his last at bat after all.
Well, I'll tell you what, watch his reaction right forward. Boy, did he wait back nicely. Got that ball airborne into the seats out in right field.
Delman Young takes a strike.
And home run number 7 on the year for Jason Kubel. A nice souvenir for that young man. Made a great catch.
And now 1-1. So just to look at the runs the Twins have scored and when they've scored them, they got the 3 runs with 2 out hits in the first, and now this 2-out home run from Kubel. So 4 of the 6 runs have scored with 2-out hits. And by the way, the White Sox are leading Detroit 2-0. Armando Galarraga, the Detroit starter in that game. A little roller to short. And Betancourt has it. And over to first. That ends the inning. But before Greinke could come off the field. Jason Kubel, who drove in 2 with a double, drove in another one with a home run.
And cooling systems. I am Kate Bilo. The Royals are in town taking on the Twins tomorrow. Coverage begins at 6:30 p.m. It'll be breezy and much warmer. A beautiful day, mostly sunny with a first pitch temperature of 75 degrees.
And the skies have completely cleared here tonight after rain most of the day. Sent a lot of fans checking online and otherwise to see whether this game was going to be played. We did start on time. We haven't had an interruption, and it doesn't look like we've got a cloud in sight. Beautiful night for baseball here at this beautiful ballpark.
Oh, it sure is. And Kevin Slowey, he has been right on. A couple hits, both given up last inning to the Kansas City Royals. 10 fly ball outs, 3 ground ball outs, and 2 strikeouts.
2 strikes to Yuniesky Betancourt. Little pop-up and foul ground. We'll see if Morneau has room.
See, that's an out in Oakland right there. But we're not going there anymore. Well, he fought for it and he got it.
Steven Strasburg won his major league debut over the Pirates. The Nationals won 5-2. Strasburg 7 innings pitched, 4 hits, 2 earned runs. How many strikeouts? Take a guess.
I'm going to say 11.
14. 14 strikeouts, 2 per inning in his major league debut.
Good for him. Good for baseball. Good for the Nationals.
2-2 to Betancourt. He'll be followed by Posednik and Kendall. That's to right field, and Kadire sprinting towards the line makes the catch, 1 away.
Well, Steven Strasburg, to talk of baseball, really. I mean, his fastball, his curveball. Picking up he looked like a good sinker right there. There's a good fastball. I have a chance to do the National Game of the Week a couple weeks ago, or a couple weeks from now, on Saturday in Washington when the White Sox are playing them. And I think we're hoping that Strasburg pitches that ball game. I'd like to see him in person.
Strike 1 to Posednik, who has bounced to first and taken a call, 3rd strike. And now 1-1. You look at Slowey, and he's considered to be a very good pitcher, but there are a lot of very good pitchers. Zach Greinke is considered to be a great pitcher. That's why he won the Cy Young Award. And I bring it up only because Slowey's career mark coming into this game today is 32 and 18. Greinke's mark, this great pitcher, is 51 and 60. Which reminds us all again, you can be a great pitcher, but if you're on a bad team, you might never even be a 500 pitcher. Grounder to short. Punto fires across, 2 down. Kevin Slowey's been on some good teams, and he's been a good pitcher on those teams and has a winning record, and Greinke's still fighting to get back to the 500 mark. If you've got tickets for Sunday's game against the Atlanta Braves, make sure you get here early for the annual mascot game with TC and his friends. After the game, kids 14 and under can run the bases at Target Field, all part of Blue Bunny Kids Day. Check ticket availability for all games at Target Field. Call 833 Twins or visit twinsbaseball.com. Fly ball center field. Now Span jogs to his right and makes a catch. In 11 pitch, 1, 2, 3, 6th inning for Kevin Slowey. In the Coors Light Freeze Cam, taking you back to the 5th inning.
Oh, Kevin Slowey has a shutout going because of good defense. And Denard Span right there running that ball down off the bat of Mitch Meyer to keep Kevin Slowey with that shutout going.
And Span's had a good day at the plate with 2 hits, 2 runs batted in. He'll bat third this inning behind Danny Valencia, and the Royals going to their bullpen with Zach Greinke going 5 innings.
Kanakio Teixeira coming into the ball game. Now, he was with the Seattle Mariners when we were there, and then the Seattle Mariners designated him for assignment, picked up by the Royals as they claimed him off waivers. And now making his 2nd appearance for the Kansas City Royals. 16 appearances for the Seattle Mariners. A Rule 5 player coming out of the Yankee organization.
And again, with him changing teams, it doesn't change the restriction on a Rule 5 player. The Royals have to keep him on their 25-man roster or offer him back to the Yankees for $25,000. And strike 2 of them now to Valencia.
Well, the scouting report on Teixeira: good sinking fastball, slider, and a changeup. And a good fastball down in the strike zone there.
Valencia, Punto, and Span. And Valencia's hit the ball hard 3 times tonight. A foul ball, just barely foul, and now 2 sharp singles to the outfield. And that'll bring up Punto. Back to our trivia question, talking about first-round draft picks for the Twins, including a couple of number 1 overall picks. Mr. Maurer and Mr. Young.
And then Denard Span. Also Delman Young. And Michael Kadire.
And all of them have had a good night here. You were drafted in what round?
Third round.
Third round.
1969.
And none of those guys we just showed you were alive back then.
Probably not.
Just thought I'd point that out.
Thank you.
A little pop up to left. Hit right at Posednik. One away. And that'll bring up Span. Span with a single in the first inning. He was picked off. Reached on a Billy Butler error. He hit the ball pretty hard, but pretty much right at Butler, and he didn't make a play. So he reached on an error, and then a big one out, two-run single in the fourth. Through a drawn-in infield. That covers the inside corner, strike one. Twins saw some really good pitching on the road trip. They start this homestand facing Zach Greinke. Later on, when the Braves come to town this weekend, might be Tommy Hanson, Tim Hudson. Then when the Colorado Rockies get here, Ubaldo Jimenez figures to make a start either on Wednesday or Thursday of that series.
Boy, is he off to a great start. 11-1 on the year.
Fouled at the plate.
Well, Teixeira, just 24 years old. Last year pitched at the Double-A level in the Yankee organization.
One and two to Span. Two and two. Again, the Twins putting Orlando Hudson on the disabled list. He'll be on that list for another week, roughly. At least that's the hope. Swing and a miss, and Span strikes out number two. In 2 weekends, Target Field will host all three Minnesota High School baseball championships in one memorable day. The Prep Championship Series begins at noon with the Class A title game. And you can be here for a part of this historic day. Tickets will be available for purchase at the Target Field box offices on Saturday, June 18th. Not this upcoming Saturday, but the following Saturday. And if you'd like more information, visit mshsl.org. Tolbert with a walk. A strikeout, and he reached on a fielder's choice. One and one. Tolbert, the most recent call-up for the Twins. He got here after Danny Valencia did. And the decision the Twins had to make was to put Hudson on the DL, who hadn't played for a week, and they could post-date his disabled period to a week ago, or to disable J.J. Hardy, who's also dinged up, and Valencia will go to second. But if it were Hardy, and the hope is the cortisone shot will take effect and he'll be able to come back in a couple of days. If it were Hardy, the 15 days would have started yesterday.
Yeah, that's why you did not see Orlando Hudson pinch run in Oakland where J.J. Hardy did.
So Valencia goes to second.
And they give Teixeira a wild pitch.
Okay.
So like a ball that should have been caught right there by Kendall.
It looked like it from up here. And Tolbert with another big two-out hit. Valencia will come around and score. And the Twins with their hitting shoes on here at Target Field, especially with two out.
Tolbert picking up his first RBI of the ball game, his first hit, and his third RBI of the year. to the fastball. Not much movement on that fastball. Tolbert lining it right up the middle. And you probably wonder why we were talking about either a wild pitch or a pass ball. If it's a pass ball, you know, if nothing else happens this inning, it's an unearned run. But with a wild pitch allowing Valencia to move over to second with that base hit, it's an earned run right now. Could cost Teixeira the ERA title.
Might end up leading him back to New York if they look at his earned run average and decide it's too high and send him back to the Yankees.
See, that's where the flag should come out.
Right.
Right there. I mean, Bob McClure should throw up the flag and say, hey, I want to see that. Was that a wild pitch or a pass ball? Or give every player a flag. And Teixeira can flag it right there.
Right. Got to be a limit, too, for how many Teixeiras one team can have.
Well, he doesn't even spell it the same way. He's missing an I.
Maybe the other guy's got one too many.
Only when he hits.
3-0 to Mauer. And a strike. Joe 1 for 3. Single and a run scored in the first. A bouncer to third in the third. And then he went down swinging in the fourth. Homestand starts with 5 straight night games. And again on the outside corner, which might keep Mauer in the lineup for the first 5 games of it. Then a day game Sunday and another off day coming up on Monday. And remembering he never really did get an off day on the road trip, as much as they wanted him to have an off day, because Morneau was out, Kadire wasn't with the club, a couple of other players were banged up. Tolbert takes off, and he'll glide into second with Mauer drawing a walk.
Well, Zach Greinke worked the first 5 innings. He gave up 9 hits, 6 runs, all earned, with a walk and 6 strikeouts. Bob McClure coming out to the mound.
I don't know, Bert, since the voting started, whether a small or middle market team has ever had 2 players elected to the All-Star game. Usually it's been a headline story when, whether it's a Jermaine Dye or a Torrey Hunter or a Joe Mauer, one player is elected, but it sure looks as if the Twins might have 2 fans' choice players at the All-Star game.
Do you think that the Twins are a small market team? I don't think so. I think, you know, with Joe Mauer and Justin Morneau and guys like Joe Nathan and, you know, this organization, I think we've seen them get to the middle of the pack, if not ahead of that pack. I think a lot of people watch Minnesota Twin baseball, and they know who the M&M boys are, Justin Morneau and Joe Mauer, and they respect what they have been able to do to accomplish. Both winning an MVP, both of them deserving to go to an All-Star game.
Bouncer to the shortstop on the other side of the bag. He throws out Morneau, and the Twins are done in the 6th. They add one more and now lead it 6-0 after 6.
The best stories start here. By Lincoln Mercury. Visit your local Lincoln Mercury dealer or go to experiencelm.com. And by AT&T. Find out what's possible with the nation's fastest 3G network. AT&T. Rethink possible.
West high-speed pitch. Kevin Slowey will be throwing some of his fastballs here in the 7th inning.
Yeah, Slowey clocked as high as 92. Zach Greinke worked the first 5 innings at 95 miles an hour.
High-speed pitch brought to you by Quest High-Speed Internet. Mistake to a 6-0 lead. Kevin Slowey will face David DeJesus to start the Kansas City 7th. He has not walked a man. He gave up 2 hits in the same inning, left those 2 hitters aboard, and that's been it. On the hands, ball 1.
Well, good job of throwing strikes again. Kevin Slowey, 83 pitches, 58 for strikes. No walks in a ball game, just 2 strikeouts, both of them coming in the 4th inning.
Foul away, 1-1.
Had a lot of fly ball outs. And Kevin Slowey, not a ground ball pitcher. 12 fly ball outs, 4 ground ball outs with those 2 strikeouts.
DeJesus, Butler, and Guillen, the 3, 4, and 5 hitters. And time called. Well, a great way for the Twins to get this homestand started. So far, so good. 6 innings, 6 runs scored, and Slowey's pitching a 2-hit shutout so far. Hack foul.
Yeah, Slowey has 2 career shutouts, both of them coming back in 2008. One against the Brewers, the other against the Chicago White Sox. Kevin Slowey threw his first complete game against the Kansas City Royals back in 2008.
One and 2 to DeJesus. Another foul. Royals trying to get out of the cellar in the division. And the Twins trying, of course, to stay on top in the division. Royals 2 games ahead of Cleveland after a last place finish last year. Just a game behind the White Sox, who are beating the Tigers 2-1 in the 6th inning. 2-2. Cleveland in last place, and today they designated Mark Grudzielanek for assignment. He hadn't played that poorly for him, but just a whole bunch of singles. That's about all he's been able to give them offensively. And the Indians sending down Matt Laporta yesterday, giving more playing time these days to Austin Kearns and Russell Branyan.
Yeah, Laporta really hasn't done anything at the major league level, and Grudzielanek, he's probably mad at the Indians now as he was with the Twins last year for letting him go.
Foul back. You just wonder, though, with the Indians, every at bat that Kearns and Branyan are going to get, neither one I don't think figures into their next competitive phase. The Indians, at some point, they need to figure out whether Laporta is going to be a player for them or not. And maybe they've already come to the conclusion that he's not.
Right.
And now Mauer to the mound. He'll have a chat with Slowey.
Now you wonder what this is about right here. And this is sometimes Slowey starts thinking too much. And, you know, he and Joe Mauer seem to work very nicely together so far tonight. And it has to be something that Slowey wants to do. And Joe Mauer says, you know what? This guy's fouled off so many pitches. Just do this. Throw that one that he'll hit it at somebody.
And another foul.
That wasn't the one.
Well, he hit it to somebody. Hit it to that guy.
I meant the guys between the lines with the gloves on.
A long at bat here for DeJesus against Slowey to start the 7th inning. And another foul. Four 2-strike fouls for DeJesus in this plate appearance against Slowey. Well, now 3-2. You know, going to the end of the 6th inning, I mentioned something that you probably experience from time to time too. You can be as good a pitcher as you can possibly be, but you are, in terms of what your career mark is going to be at the mercy of the teams you play on. There's a drive to right field. Great at bat for DeJesus. And Cuddyer will play the Garum, but it gets away from his bare hand. DeJesus will hold up with a double after a great battle with Kevin Slowey. He gets the first Kansas City extra base hit.
Well, I think if you talk to Zach Greinke, I mean, he's not happy as his performance. Again, if you're going to lose 2-1, 3-2, something like that. Keep your club in the games. Greinke was really unable to do that. So that ball hit off that wall right there, and Cuddyer getting it back in, but it's a double the whole way right there. So the 3rd hit of the ball game, first extra base hit for the Royals off of Kevin Slowey.
And now Butler will hit. When I looked at the 2 career records for the 2 starting pitchers tonight, the first guy I thought of was Brad Radke, who took until the final years of his career before he became a winning pitcher. And it wasn't his fault. It's just he was a very good pitcher on a bad team for the first half dozen years of his career.
Well, people label certain pitchers. I mean, Zach Greinke, up until last year, he was a good pitcher. All of a sudden, he won the Cy Young. He's a great pitcher. No, Zach Greinke's, a good pitcher. Everything just fell into place last year. And now he's got to go through that transition period that, hey, guess what? It's not all working this year as it did last year. He's got a chance to drop this ball game, to the Twins and drop his record to 1-8. He's not happy with that, I guarantee you. But that's the little added pressure that sometimes the game of baseball will put on you. That you just go out there and it becomes more of a mental thing than a physical thing. We saw Greinke, 95-mile-an-hour fastball, good hard slider, curveball, good changeup. Just you start looking for ways to lose sometimes, and that's the worst thing that could happen to a pitcher or a hitter if you're in a big slump.
2-1 to Butler, and a high foul, very foul, and very deep. 2-2. Beautiful night at Target Field. The Twins in front 6-0. And another one flipped foul. So Slowey, who had at least 3 innings where he threw 11 pitches or less, has thrown about 20 of them, it seems, here in the 7th inning.
He's making up for it right here. Already 15 pitches here, looking for his first out. Had that long battle with DeJesus that he finally got a pitch up and hit that double off that right field wall. But it's not the easiest place to play here. It's about the toughest angle, I think, of any wall, Dick, is that right field wall.
That ball, the one that came back on Cuddyer, almost looked like it hit a seam because he was trying to play the angle and it came back to his bare hand side.
Remember the first time in that Billy Butler, who's at the plate right now, hit it off that limestone. You look at Michael Cuddyer right there. You don't know where it's going to hit. Is it going to hit the padding? That looked like it hit the bottom of the base of the fence and ricocheted back. Remember Billy Butler hit that limestone and came back to the infield, and Michael Cuddyer threw him out at third.
And a strikeout of Butler for the first out of the inning. Well, Michael Cuddyer has played out there for roughly half a season. He's still learning how to play right field.
There's 4 different surfaces on this wall that you got to worry about. The pad, which shoots off moderately hard, not extremely hard, but moderately hard. Above the pad is wood, so that's wood right there, and it shoots off really hard. Obviously, the stone, you saw it almost go to second base against the Royals. But then you got concrete up there as well that's above the wood, and that shoots off just as hard as the limestone.
Delman Young catches a fly ball. The second out comes a lot easier than the first. That'll bring up Cayasco.
Yeah, I think out in left field, center field, you just have the padded wall, basically, that you have to worry about, or maybe the carom down the left field line for Delman Young, that the ball could, ricochet out. But in right field, behind Michael Kadire, are those 4 obstacles that he was talking about. You see how that limestone sticks out. Now, over toward the right field line, it only sticks out maybe about 3 feet. Where over on the left side, which is right in there, that sticks out probably, I'm going to guess, about 8 feet. 8 to 10 feet.
Help me out. Where's the concrete he's talking about? Because I don't see that. Like the top 5 feet of the wall on either side, it's painted gray like the rest of the.
Yeah, it looks like plywood, but it's actually concrete.
Okay.
Just above the plywood.
And Maurer will go to the mound again.
See, right in there.
Yep.
See, you have the plywood here, and then you have the concrete in that area.
And
you wonder if a ball will ever be hit right on the left side of this area right in there one day. And that's going to be a tough little one to try to,
That might be our first inside the park home run here. It'll hit in the warning track and roll all the way to left center.
It could. It could ricochet into that corner, then bang over toward the bullpen area.
1-0 to Cayasco, and a drive to left center. Delman Young is there. Royals get a leadoff double. Slowly buckles down. He's got 7 shutout innings here tonight. On Toyota's full lineup of dependable vehicles. And by Quest high-speed internet. Get blazing fast speeds that won't burn up your wallet. And a reminder, you can participate in our Arby's Value Player of the Game tonight. And text the word value followed by a space in the player's name to short code 234-234. And yes, 7 shutout innings in the opening game of the series in a homestand should get a significant percentage of the votes.
102 pitches for Kevin Slowey, 7 shutout innings, 72 strikes, no walks, with 3 strikeouts. They allowed only 3 hits.
And Michael Kadire with a nice return to the lineup. A pair of base hits, an RBI, and a run scored.
He'll be facing Victor Marte, making his 5th appearance of the year. Marte, a September call-up last year. Got called up in late April by the Kansas City Royals, up and down a couple times. Total of 7 2/3 innings. 4 strikeouts with 4 walks. Marte from the Dominican Republic.
1-2. Tigers have taken a 3-2 lead on the White Sox in the top of the 7th inning. That's potentially a season-changing series for Chicago. They need to start to going forwards rather than backwards. There's a breaking ball. Kadir takes a called third strike. 1 down. Jason Kubel to the plate. A couple of big hits, including our Coors Light Cold Hard Blast.
Well, that came in the 5th inning. Jason Kubel off of Zach Greinke. Got a breaking ball and then weighted back nicely and got that ball airborne for his 7th home run of the year. Solo home run in the 5th. That gave the Twins a 6-0 lead at the time. And now the Twins have a 7-0 lead.
Drilled to center, and it knuckles its way out to Mitch Meyer, who makes the catch, out number 2. Pretty well hit ball again off the bat of Jason Kubel. Imagine if this series at U.S. Cellular Field doesn't go well for Chicago. If they lose the series, or heaven forbid get swept, and the Twins win 2 games, 3 games here against Kansas City, they start the day 8.5 games back. If they were to lose 2 more games to the first place team and another game to the second place team, the White Sox might pull the trigger on any number of deals. Young 1 for 3. And he lifts it foul, out of play, 2 strikes. And there are rumors Paul Konerko is going to end up with the Angels. A.J. Pierzynski might be gone. Bobby Jenks might be gone. Blocked by Kendall. 1-2. Alex Burnett warming up as if he's going to come into the game in the 8th. Breaking ball, and Young takes a big hack and taps it foul. Rifled to left, but right at the left fielder Posednik. So a couple of well hit balls in the 7th, but the Twins go down 1-2-3. comfort zone. The Twins bullpen has been very good.
Well, it really has. I mean, you look at the Minnesota Twins here tonight. Kevin Slowey, 7 shutout innings, and then you turn it over to a bullpen that right now has the second best ERA in the American League at 2.98. Only the Detroit Tigers bullpen a little bit better at 2.78. The first one out of the bullpen will be Alex Burnett, who has been outstanding out of the bullpen. Picked up his first win on the road, making his 20th appearance this year. 27 innings pitched, only 21 hits allowed with 11 walks, 2 intentional with 23 strikeouts.
And no home runs allowed. And he will face the bottom third of the Kansas City lineup, Mike Aviles, Mitch Meyer, and Yuniesky Betancourt. Breaking pitch up and in, ball 1. Aviles, proven to be a decent shortstop and a good hitter, but his days of playing shortstop are behind him, in part because the Royals now have Yuniesky Betancourt, but also because he's coming back from the Tommy John surgery, and he figures to be more of a second baseman than anything else now.
Yeah, the Tommy John surgery in July of last year. So it's taken him a little less than a year to get back to the major league level. Very good hitter.
High fly to center, hit almost right at Denard Span. In 2 steps to make the catch, 1 away. And the fly ball outs just keep on coming. Here's our Mountain Dew game summary.
Well, in the first inning was Jason Kubel with 2 outs, hitting that double right there. And that scored a couple runs. Twins took an early 3-0 lead. Denard Span in the 4th inning, a 2-run base hit with the infield drawn in. And then Kubel, all those hits coming off of Zach Greinke, who worked the first 5 innings.
And strike 1 to Mitch Meyer. And strike 2. Matt Thornton had a terrible 7th inning for the White Sox, giving up 5 runs. The Tigers scored 6, and it looks like they're going to beat the White Sox 7-2. That game in the top of the 7th. Vernon Bosch with a big 3-run home run for Detroit. Fouled away. Meyer with a couple of fly balls to center. One of them grabbed by Denard Span on the warning track right in front of the fence in right center field. Now he lines one over the head of Morneau into right field for just the 4th Kansas City hit. And there's a 1-out single here for Kansas City in the 8th. The Twins, Optum Health, and the Minnesota Department of Transportation are asking you to bike to the ball game Sunday when the Twins host Atlanta. The first 1,000 fans that bike to the game will receive a great gift bag from Optum Health. You can visit twinsbaseball.com and click on Community and print out your Bike to the Ball Game certificate. You get all the information on how to participate this Sunday and bike to the ball game.
Jim Pallinger will bike to the ball game on Sunday.
I wanted to. It's just there's, from out where I live, about
you'd be dead by
30 miles away. I'd have to start Saturday. Here's Betancourt. Pop up on a fly ball. If there was a bike path, I'd try it, though. I really would.
Would you?
To right center field. Span won't be able to get there. He backhands it. Betancourt will hold up with a single. First and third with 1 away. And a fine play by Span to hold Betancourt to a single.
Yeah, I mean, that's a great play right there. Sometimes we look at the highlight reel and you see Span making that great catch out in center field off the batted Mitch Meyer in the 5th inning. But sometimes these little plays are overlooked. And this is what Span does so well. He cuts off that ground with his speed and holds Betancourt to a single. Now the double play still in order, but on the play, if that ball gets by him, Meyer for sure scores.
Mayhay and Maharis, a pair of lefties warming up with Pasetnik at the plate. 0 for 3. And a fastball sails outside, ball one. To center, deep enough to score a run. And Span makes the catch out by the warning track. So a fly ball. Meyer coming in from third. And the Royals break the shutout here in the 8th.
That's the first run that Burnett has allowed now in 11 appearances. So Posednik getting an RBI, his 19th of the year, as Meyer scores the Royals' first run.
And now Jason Kendall. Kendall 0 for 3. At the knees, a strike. Inside, Kendall, who's the active leader in being hit by a pitch, almost stuck his arm out there to get plunked by that pitch.
I was looking at the notes right here. Kendall is 5th all-time in games started behind the plate. This pretty durable man right here.
Fouled away.
Yeah, 3rd all-time in Major League Baseball history since 1900. To be hit 200, he's been hit 251 times. When he retires, I mean, all those games that probably he caught that a foul ball came off of him, and then he goes to the plate and they drill him there too.
There's an Advil commercial in his future, you would think. And a one-hopper to Tolbert. And the inning ends. Couple of hits for the Royals, and they do get a run against Alex Burnett, but it's still 7-1.
Been a great night here at Target Field. Beautiful weather, a great ball game, and an even better post-game show. It's Quest Twins Live featuring the Toyota post-game wrap. It's Roy Smalley, it's Anthony LaPanta, the rest of the gang, Bert and Dick. They're going to talk about a lot of things, including Kevin Slowey's performance tonight on the mound. He was in total control, 3-hit ball over 7 shutout innings, 3 strikeouts to go along with it. Our instructional tonight, the fundamentals of bunting. Rumor has it Bert Blyleven is going to get barreled over at home plate. That's according to Roy Smalley. And we'll bring you some clubhouse reaction. We hope to catch up with Kevin Slowey to get his reaction on his performance tonight on Quest Twins Live. Dick and Bert.
I don't think my son-in-law is in town anymore. He is coming back, though. Like our pinch runner,
right?
Stephen Cohn.
Well, now
that made me a grandfather again. But I don't know how I'm going to get run over by
Bunting.
Royce Bunting. This we'll have to find out. I'm up for it if it's Roy.
Valencia leading off the 8th against a Kansas City pitcher. The only left-hander they have in their pen right now, Dusty Hughes.
Yeah, Hughes' numbers making his 24th relief appearance. 3.98 earned run average. 1 win, 1 loss out of the bullpen. Royals bullpen coming into the ballgame combined 4.55. That's the 11th highest in the American League. Good off-speed pitch right there.
Well, Valencia's done everything he could be asked to do here. He's hit a little bit. He's got now 5 hits. He's made the plays in the field. Average just under 300. And he hasn't looked overwhelmed. And given the state of affairs in the Twins infield, the last thing they needed was somebody coming up and playing every day as Valencia has and not been able to handle himself professionally.
Oh, he's done a very good job.
Chopped to third. And Butler was safe at first. They're saying Butler pulled his foot. So Butler, in trying to field the low throw, apparently came off the bag. We'll see if it's a hit or a Kansas City error.
Oh, and Hitchcock's the first base umpire, saying that Butler pulled his foot. Carrasco comes in, feels it, and then the throw low. We'll take a look right here as Butler gets that ball. Quick feet right there. Wow.
I thought he was out. Did it look like he was out?
Yeah, it looked like he was out.
So it might be another infield hit for Valencia. Take a look from the overhead view down the left field line.
Well, a lot of first basemen do that. You know, I mean, they get it. It's all a timing play.
And they give Valencia a hit.
I think, probably this angle right here, you'll see Butler try to get that ball. And, boy, very close. Looked like he was out right there. Red flag him.
See, this would be an instance where Ron Gardenhire, or in this case, Ned Yost, might not even use the flag.
You don't think so?
Down by 6 runs since the 8th inning. So this notion that you give each manager one and you're automatically going to have 2 interruptions is, I think, folly. Most games would be played without it.
I agree.
2-1 to Punto. And again, I'll say it. I'll bet Jim Joyce wishes that somehow, some way, that call could be overturned, simply because that will forever be his Bill Buckner moment.
Let's hope not. Let's hope not. I mean, fans, hopefully are smarter than that. But, in Bill Butler's case, my goodness, this guy could flat out hit. And what's he known for? Letting that ball go between his legs.
Over 2,700 hits, and people don't remember that.
Right.
1 down. Doing more on defense, brought to you by the Home Defense. Of course, the Twins taking center stage.
Well, it came in the 5th inning. Billy Butler at the plate and Nick Punto going into foul territory. Good concentration. Everybody getting out of their way. And Punto able to go over the railing there to make the nice catch for the first out in the top of the 5th inning.
Span with a couple of hits, couple of runs batted in. And he swings at the first pitch and lifts it foul. Breaking ball that catches the edge of the plate. 2 strikes. 2 prior series between these 2 teams, and in each case the Twins won the first 2 games and lost the 3rd. Here they're in pretty good position to at least win the opener.
Yeah, last time we saw the Royals, they had 2 left-handers out of that bullpen. John Parrish was the other one, but he's currently on a disabled list with some arm problems.
Twins will see a left-handed starter in the series finale, Bruce Chen. against Scott Baker. Really looking forward to this weekend for a lot of reasons, but the Atlanta Braves come to town as the hottest team in baseball. For the last time we'll see Bobby Cox, a future Hall of Fame manager. He's making his swan song around baseball. Jason Hayward coming to town. And
how about Chipper Jones?
Chipper Jones has been slumping and hurt, but he's a future Hall of Famer.
Yep.
Span gone, out number 2.
And Hughes picks up his second straight strikeout.
Braves leading the Phillies by a couple of games beginning play today. Ground ball to the second baseman. And Tolbert is thrown out. Valencia gets an infield hit. He's left the board to the ninth. Twins up by 6. And to get started.
There you go. Happy birthday to you. A lot of great signs here tonight. Jason Kubel, good night at the plate. That 2-run double in the first inning and then a solo home run in the 5th. Valencia with 3 hits in the ballgame scored a couple runs. Jason Kubel watching the top of the 9th inning as a designated hitter here tonight. As Jose Majares comes out of the bullpen. Making his 15th relief appearance, and over his last 8 appearances, covering 7 2/3 innings. He's allowed only 3 hits, 1 walk with 6 strikeouts. So Majares, who spent some time on the disabled list with that sore left elbow, has really come back and has really picked up the bullpen.
To the point where I think from the left side, the Twins are as deep in terms of relievers as they've been since you go back to the days of Romero, Santana, and Guardado, when they had 3 wonderful left-handed relievers. But now, you know, they've picked their spots now lately for Mayhay. And Dunsing has been outstanding, a multiple inning type of lefty reliever. And Majares back pretty much on the role he was in the last couple of years when things were going well for him. 1-0 to De Jesus. 2-0. De Jesus, Butler, and Guillen. And close pitch missing, 3-0. De Jesus had that protracted at bat against Slowey leading off the 7th, ended up cracking a double, but then Slowey got the next 3 batters, and De Jesus never budged from second base. At the knees, 3-1.
And that's what you want to do again for Maharis. You just throw it right down the heart of the plate. Make him swing. Make him earn his way on.
Bouncer to second, hits the mound and kicks it even closer to Tolbert. One away.
Good comeback right there by Maharis, falling behind and then getting the ground ball out. But Kevin Slowey here today is our Jimmy John's delivery of the game because of the 7 shutout innings. Only 3 hits allowed, 2 singles and a double. No walks in the ball game for Slowey with 3 strikeouts. 102 pitches, 72 were strikes.
Here's Butler 0 for 3. A fly ball, a foul pop, and a strikeout. Breaking ball around the plate. Ball 1. And now a foul ball, 1-1. Butler likely going to the All-Star game representing the Kansas City Royals. He's put together a very good year. And eventually the Royals figure he will hit for more power. In terms of home runs, he has just 5 on the season.
He had 21 home runs last year, drove in 93 runs.
And he's got 16 doubles, and that's puts him on a pace to hit about 50 doubles. So when you say extra base power or hitting for power, doubles have to be included in that.
Oh, yeah, he had 51 doubles last year, Dick, and second in the American League behind Brian Roberts, who had 56. This guy's a good hitter. Only 24 years old, already in his 4th season with the Royals.
2-2 with Maharis pulling the chain.
Came into this ball game 6th in the American League in hitting. See, most hits under the age of 25. Delman Young, who came up very young with the Rays, and Billy Butler 1-2.
A significant spread between Young and Billy Butler. Full count and a bouncer foul. Dayton Moore is a general manager of the Royals, and I'm sure he's hopeful that Butler will be a cornerstone player for the Royals as they hope to restore the franchise to competitiveness. They were hopeful that Alex Gordon was going to be that type of player, and he might still be, but just at a different position. Gordon in the minor leagues tearing the cover off the ball in Omaha right now, but as a left fielder, not a third baseman.
Yeah, Butler, #1 pick by the Royals back in 2004. Gordon, a #1 pick by the Royals.
High pop-up down the right field line, and Kadire on the warning track drops the ball, and Butler will go to second base. So an error on Kadire, allowing Butler to go to second with 1 out in the 9th.
Yeah, for Michael Kadire, his first error of the year. And I ran over to the wall, but the ball seemed to maybe drift on him a little bit. Maybe lost sight of the ball. Backpedaled a little bit. Just took maybe his eye off that ball. So a 2-base error for Michael Kadire. For the Twins, their 16th error of the year.
You know, we saw it in, what was it? Seattle, I guess. The Twins are 1 run there, or 1 win there in Seattle. And toward the end of the game, it was by a pretty comfortable score, and Morneau dropped a pop-up for an error. If you're going to commit errors, I guess it's...
Yeah, that in Oakland, when he missed that one.
Yeah.
Justin?
I was thinking of one in an error the Twins committed in Seattle after they built a fairly comfortable lead. At any rate, if you're going to commit an error, it's nice to commit an error when in the 9th inning when you're up by 6.
Right.
Here's Guillen, a single in 3 trips. Foul back. And that's outside, 2-2. Hit well to left center field. Span chasing it, and it's high off the wall. Young will play the carom. It is a double for Guillen and a run for the Royals at 7-2.
That's second time that Guillen has hit a ball in that direction. In his first at bat, he hit that deep fly ball that Span was able to run down in the second inning. And this time Guillen gets that fastball. Good short compact swing. He leads the Royals with 13 home runs. That ball stays in the ballpark. Delman Young backing it the play up. But Guillen an RBI double. His second hit of the ball game, picking up his 39th RBI.
Right now it's an unearned run for whatever it's worth, and here's Callaspo. I guess this run would be unearned regardless, right?
Yes.
1-0. Still only one out in the inning.
That's one thing that Twins have not given a lot of is unearned runs.
That's to right center field, and Kadire makes the running catch for out number 2. The run here in the 9th, an unearned run.
Or the 6th.
Wow. In the 58th game. So 2 down. Here is Aviles. Aviles with a single. Royals have just 6 hits. The Twins have a dozen. Only home run going to the Twins. Up and away, ball 1. Base hit to center. Well, another unearned run will score with Aviles driving in a run, and it's 7-3.
Well, Aviles picking up his second hit of the ball game.
So 3 runners reach and a couple score with 2 outs, and we'll see if the call has been made. It already has, to fire up somebody up down in the bullpen, and it's Matt Guerrero warming up while Rick Anderson comes to the mound. Royals send up their 8th place hitter, Mitch Meyer.
So you see Andy doing all the talking right there, kind of went to his brow area and said, hey, come on, concentrate now. I want you to focus on that glove down. Pitching coach doing all the talking in that conversation.
One more batter reaches. If Meyer should reach by any means with Guerrero warming up, there would be a save situation, believe it or not. Myers 1 for 3, a single, a run scored. He was retired on a nice play by Denard Span back in the 5th inning when the Royals were threatening against Kevin Slowey. Maharis misses ball 1. Runner goes. Twins don't care. A pop-up near the Kansas City dugout. And it's out of play. One and one. There's a strike on the outside corner. And Aviles trots to second base. Defensive indifference. The call, the Twins weren't holding him on, didn't have anybody covering second base.
Yeah, no stolen base right there.
One and two. Royals down to their last strike. And Meyer just got a piece of it.
Another sellout crowd here at Target Field. Most of them on their feet looking for that last out.
Tomorrow, weather's supposed to be just perfect for baseball. And it turned out to be a beautiful night tonight.
It sure did.
Another 1-2. 2-2.
Harris has thrown a lot of pitches, 27 pitches.
And a breaking pitch left up high, and Mauer's going to go to the mound and probably tell him exactly what Rick Anderson told him.
I wonder if he is crossed up right there.
And again, if one more man reaches here, if Meyer were to walk, and suddenly the Royals will get the tying run to the on-deck circle, and that would mean it's a save situation. Three and two. Up the line, foul. And first base is filled. And Betancourt will come up, and we'll see if the Twins make a move. Gardy's going to come out, and he's going to bring Matt Guerrero in to pick up a save because Maharis couldn't clean things up here in the ninth inning.
Well, he should have been out of the inning, but you hate to have innings, go on and on and on. But Matt Guerrero coming out of the bullpen. That inning win. A little frustration. And Matt Guerrero coming into the ballgame. He's usually good for one save a year, and this is it right here. He had one last year. He had one in 2008, one in 2007, and one in 2006.
We'll get it out of the way here on the first couple pitches. Yuniesky Betancourt has already hit one of the longest home runs at Target Field. He's one of the few guys to reach the bullpen area in left center field. So the Twins are aware of his power, and he'll face Guerrero here with 2 on and 2 out. Betancourt singled his last time up. And Yost hoping that his team can pull off a miraculous comeback here in the ninth. And Guerrero misses ball one. One and oh. Grounder to first, and Morneau has it, watches it all the way into his glove. Guerrero throws two pitches, gets his annual save,